You had me at practice. Real marketing does not persuade, it demonstrates. It does not hype, it delivers repeatedly. And when something delivers without exception, the mind stops negotiating with it. Not because of belief, because of results. That is why the line hits so hard. It's the practice that will show you that it's true. No promises, no authority, no pressure. Just try it and watch what happens. That is the cleanest value proposition there is. Because the claim is not the point. The outcome is the point. And outcomes do not care about personality, branding, or charisma. Outcomes either appear or they do not. This is why A Course in Miracles holds up under scrutiny the way good systems do. It does not ask for agreement. It asks for application. It does not demand faith. It demands willingness. It does not ask for a new story. It asks for a new decision. A system is proven by its repeatability. If it works only when the mood is right, it is not a system. If it works only when the teacher is inspiring, it is not a system. If it works only when life is calm, it is not a system. The Course is not trying to win a debate. It is trying to produce a result. Peace. Not theoretical peace. Not peace someday. A measurable inner quiet that shows up in the middle of real triggers. That is why the feedback loop matters. The mind does not have to guess. The mind does not have to hope. The mind does not have to bargain. It practices forgiveness, and it watches what happens. It practices releasing interpretation, and it watches what happens. It practices choosing the Holy Spirit instead of the ego, and it watches what happens. That is outcome integrity. That is credibility. That is the difference between a message that sounds right and a message that works. This also explains why so much modern content fails to deliver. Most content sells explanations, stories, diagnoses, identity upgrades, reasons, justifications, narratives that feel meaningful while the nervous system stays on fire. The ego loves content that gives it better language for the same imprisonment. It loves clarity that still ends in grievance. It loves wisdom that still ends in superiority. It loves healing that still ends in a stronger self-concept. It loves anything that produces more commentary without producing more peace. The Course is the opposite of that economy. It is not content marketing. It is outcome marketing. Because it does not sell a new identity. It undoes the need for identity altogether. The Course does not flatter the personal self. It corrects the premise that there is a personal self to defend. It does not decorate the prison. It questions the bars. This is why the mind trusts it. Not because it is spiritual, not because it is deep, not because it has a holy tone, but because it does not lie through results. When the Course is practiced, something happens. The reaction time shortens. The need to be right loosens. The compulsion to interpret weakens. The body may still feel sensations, but the mind stops calling them proof. A grievance may still arise, but it is recognized faster as a choice. The inner atmosphere begins to change. Not perfectly, but measurably, repeatably. That is the integrity the marketer recognizes, because real marketing is not persuasion. It is delivery. It is consistency. It is the quiet compounding of trust through results. That is why the image works as a supporting metaphor and nothing more. A single drop does not argue with the stone. It does not lecture it. It does not hype itself. It simply falls again and again, and the evidence accumulates.
Practice is the drop. Peace is the groove. And once the groove exists, nobody needs a speech. The mind sees what happened. The mind stops negotiating. The mind stops asking to be convinced. Because this is the moment persuasion becomes unnecessary. Not because the mind got smarter, but because it got shown. You did not get sold, you got demonstrated. And once something demonstrates itself without exception, the conclusion is automatic. Yeah, you have me at practice.